I did fear of public speaking. I don't know if I think fear in general stops me. It's not, but definitely I freaked out. That stayed with me. So I've been doing this for 16 years.
Yeah.
And every time I go up on stage, to this moment, I have the nerves. I have this desire to perform. I still have to manage myself, so I'm in a peak performance state. The only difference now is that there are moments where I don't have the nerves anymore because of the wealth of experience.
Saana Azzam, a trailblazer in the worlds of economics, public speaking, entrepreneurship, and much, much more. Female Economist of the Year in 2010. As the CEO and founder of MENA Speakers, the Middle East premier speakers bureau, Saana has revolutionized the industry, connecting top-tier speakers with high-profile events regionally and internationally. Do you think anybody can be an entrepreneur, or it requires a particular DNA?
Entrepreneurship is...
Welcome back, Alpha Squad, to a new inspiring episode of the Alpha Talks show, the #1 show in the region. Our Alpha guest today is none other than Saana Azzam, a trailblazer in the worlds of economics, public speaking, entrepreneurship, and much, much more. So without further ado, let's welcome Saana to the Alpha Talks podcast. Welcome, and it's an honor to have you today.
Thank you for having me.
How do you feel today?
Oh my God.
Excited?
Always excited.
We love that. We love that. Saana, before we start, we usually have a question, which is, when we launch the episode, people will look at the thumbnail, they will find the graphics, the title, and they will think it's very interesting to watch. What can you promise them today to gain if they gave us their time? Whatever comes to your head.
Well, a good conversation. Perhaps some lessons on entrepreneurship from my mistakes, and let's add in a dose of inspiration.
I love that. And I believe everybody will be hoping to listen to this episode. It's one of a kind, I believe. So let's dig deep. So can you tell us who's Saana in a nutshell? From your perspective, who's Saana in a nutshell?
In a nutshell, I've spent 36 years
in a nutshell,
with
that's
this
the question.
conversation.
In a nutshell, because I'm gonna dig deep. In a nutshell.
I am, full stop. I am my essence. In a nutshell, I'm still tripping over that. I'm not the sum of my achievements or anything that I've done. So that's why I say I am, full stop.
Full stop. I love that. Let's go backwards to a little bit of your childhood. You're a mix, correct? Tell us a little bit about your childhood.
My childhood? Is this a free therapy session now?
We start very early. Because I don't want to say ended, but you chose a career which is, I would say, not standard, because you took it professionally.
Yeah.
Before the show, we were talking that every second person say that he's a speaker. But you took the journey to a professional level. So that's not a standard journey. So that's why
definitely.
I want to go backwards, and then we circle back to this.
Yeah. So if we go way back, I'm the youngest child of 8.
Boo.
So we are 10 people in my family.
Wow.
And I guess being the youngest child of 8 forces you to learn to communicate your needs, because you're constantly in competition for mommy's and daddy's love.
Of course.
With 7 other people. And you're also negotiating who's going to play the video game, who's going to play with that doll. So I think, I have a lot to attribute to my family.
Of course.
for catapulting me into the space of being mindful of how to communicate, how to claim my needs and desires and wants and boundaries. So I think that's the origin story.
Where were you born and raised?
I was born in transit between countries in Germany. So my parents were fleeing
No way.
the war in Lebanon, and they got that 11th hour call, your family needs to leave or else ... So my father made the very wise decision to pack everything very quickly and then head out to Europe, where we heard that it was easy to get citizenship. And my mom had 7 children, 1 on the way. And that
was you.
Yes.
That
So
was
I
you.
popped out in
That was
Germany.
you.
Ta-da, I'm here. We spent about 3 months there. And then the rumor mill amongst all the refugees there was that it's easier to get citizenship in Sweden. And we had family there. So they literally walked and took public transportation to make it between Germany to Sweden. That's 3 countries.
Wow.
A quick note, I find this incredibly intriguing. On the back end of our YouTube channel, it says around 75% of you who watch this channel frequently over the lifetime of this channel. haven't yet hit the subscribe button, I just wanted to ask you for a favor. It helps this channel so much if you choose to just subscribe. It helps us invite guests that give you great value. It helps us scale the production and as well makes this show bigger and bigger for you. And if you enjoyed the previous episodes and you're currently enjoying this episode, could you please hit the subscribe button? I love your support. It's incredible to see all your comments and engagement, and we are just starting. Thank you so much, and I will repay this gesture by making sure that everything we do on this show makes it bigger, bigger, and better. I'm committed to do this promise. Do we have a deal? Thank you so much for subscribing. It means the world to me.
Then suddenly you studied economics.
Yeah.
It was a general, like I would say, like a path that your family drew for you, or it was your choice?
No, I would say they've had a lot of influence. And, if we take it a step back, my father was incredibly wise. What happens with refugee families and immigrants is that they tend to put you in these neighborhoods where they cluster together. So all of a sudden you're in little Lebanon, little Palestine, little Mexico,
absolutely.
whatever it is. And my father already then said, no, we're here now in Sweden. We're going to integrate and become as Swedish as we can be. So he actually relocated us into this little village. And we were this big Arab family in a completely Swedish community. And that was such an amazing move from his side because it really forced us to embrace the Swedish culture and become Swedish. And so, that was his doing. And then fast forward, moving into economics, no, it really wasn't my first-hand choice at all. I actually suffered with maths and economics at high school level, where I was going to a school in Wales. So that's where I had the worst grades initially.
Then became an economist.
Yeah, right? But then when I applied to different schools, I got into Stockholm School of Economics, and their acceptance rate is really low. Like, very few people make it through that. So when I got that, I was like, of course, this is where I'm going to go. Did that and honestly suffered through it. It was just working with my weaknesses all the time. But managed through that, and then got an award in economics.
Exactly. Tell me about this. How it happened?
Yeah, so that was an interesting award where you merge American business people, Swedish business people, and it was based on your social skills, it was based on personality tests, and then your grades and what you're doing in school as well. So it was like a combination. And it was the first time in my life where I'm being really audited for everything like that. And so, I got the award.
Wow, congrats. I'll ask you something about the mindset, which I love to ask. Being an immigrant in a place where it's not your home country drives people to the max. This happened to you, that you wanted to succeed, you wanted to make everything better. It was like this?
Yeah, definitely. That was a big driver for a long time, where it was, you feel like an outsider.
Yeah.
You're always the other.
True.
But that seems to be a theme that's been following me throughout my whole career. And I think in some ways I've been quite happy about that, because it's taught me to be okay with being the other. So a lot of the driver in the beginning was, let's prove them wrong.
Exactly.
I can be a minority, but I can still do it.
True.
I can still be in this room with all these white men.
True.
And then show up and still do a great job. And that did force me to not perform well, but also have to excel. And that's kind of how the rule operates.
True.
If you're the other, you need to work harder to prove yourself to be accepted. And so many times I'd be sitting in meetings where people don't understand. They think I'm like the PA or the classic stories,
true,
the classic
100%.
stories. They don't understand what I'm doing there. And I'd be like, no, I'm here because I am the professional that you want to meet,
I had the same feeling when I was in Russia, actually. That's why I believe that one of the things that pushed me to succeed over there. I'm not the minority.
Yeah.
I'm not the dark-skinned person.
Yeah.
I'll show you.
Yeah.
So I think that's the immigrant mindset, I would say.
Yeah.
I'll move to public speaking. What happened? What happened on earth, I would say, being an award-winning economist, and then suddenly, okay, I like speaking.
Yeah, let's do this.
Yeah.
I mean, it came to me. It's something that I wasn't pursuing. Where I went at Stockholm School of Economics, people become either bankers or management consultants. They're the ones that are always poaching us, and I did that too. But wherever I would go, whatever organization, they'd always like, you go and speak. And I'd be like, yeah, okay, let me speak. So I would do that. And it was a very happy accident to become a speaker. You know.
Oh, really? It's an accident.
Yeah, it came to me. An agency contacted me, and I was touring Northern Europe as a speaker, and kind of found different topics to talk about. And I was doing that for a
But
full
you didn't
year.
have this fear of speaking, which is one of the top public speaking.
Yeah,
Your fear.
glossophobia.
Yeah.
You know, I did a fear of public speaking. I don't know if I think fear in general stops me. It's not, but definitely I freaked out.
Yeah,
but that stayed with me. So I've been doing this for 16 years,
Yeah.
and every time I go up on stage, to this moment, I have the nerves. I have this desire to perform. I still have to manage myself, so I'm in a peak performance
Yeah.
state. The only difference now is that there are moments where I don't have the nerves anymore because of the wealth of experience. But there are many moments, if I'm going to talk in front of His Royal Highness or a
Yeah,
sheikh
exact.
or to
Okay, the
completely new
audience.
context, you know, then absolutely I'm going to be nervous.
Do you prime yourself before speaking or not?
Big time.
Big time.
Big time.
Yeah.
With a lot of like visualization. And then I rehearse. So if all else fails, I'm going on autopilot. I have it rehearsed. And then proper preparation prevents poor performance, you know?
Exactly. Exactly.
That's like a bunch of peas at you.
Right away. Let's say, okay, that was in Sweden.
Yeah.
Then came Dubai. First of all, why you came to Dubai? Why you chose Dubai? Like why Dubai appeared on the map?
So I was working in Sweden at the time, and I had two options. I was sure that I was going to move out and live in another country, and it was a choice between living in the US. I got a job offer in the US, and I got a job offer here. My sister was living here. And I went, oh, well, Dubai at least has this Arabic element to it. And there's a part of me that still longs for my Arabic heritage and to be part of that.
True.
So that's really what prompted the decision to move to the Middle East and really reconnect with my heritage. Little did I know that the connection to the UAE is super strong. I just found out why. And I've been here 14 years now. And you know, with everything that happened in Gaza, then I felt this urge to reconnect with being Palestinian.
Yeah.
And really get to know my own heritage. And it's something that I haven't had the opportunity to do for the longest period since I was around the world. And so I went to my family and I said, you know, let's create a book of where we come from and where's my grandmother from? Where's my grandfather? Like, who are they? Because I haven't ever met them either. So in that journey, we've started doing this. It's so much fun. I find out that my grandmother lived in Abu Dhabi in her last years. And not only that, she's buried in Abu Dhabi.
No way.
Promise you.
Who?
So last week, I was working in Abu Dhabi, and then it came to me. I was like, why don't I go and visit her? Find out what this is. And it really just dawned on me. And I went, okay. So I jumped into the car, and I know which cemetery she's at. So I drive to the cemetery, and then I go, I don't know where I'm going. I don't know what her name is. I don't know anything. So I'm standing there, and there are these two men that are like, what are you doing here? I'm like, I want to meet my grandmother. I don't know where she is. Or what's her name? I don't really know her full name. And then I have to call around my family in Sweden, and they give me some details. And this man is sitting by a computer. And he goes, she's Palestinian? Yeah. 2001? Yes. Okay, let's go. So we went and literally found her grave.
Wow.
And I had a moment to
reconnect
with my lineage. And I go, I now understand why I'm so attached. Like, my lineage is here in the ground of the soil in the country. So it just felt really special.
Of course.
Really, really moving, really special.
Of course. I can totally believe. When you came to Dubai, it was about public speaking, or it's still the Saana the Economist?
It was Saana the Economist. I came to JLT and I worked as a gold trader. As a physical gold trader for one of the biggest refineries in the world, which is really interesting because I come from a very classic corporate pearl earrings in Sweden, presentations, PowerPoint. I'm thrown into the mix here, into a gold trading house. And now I'm going to the gold souk and I'm traveling around the region to these central banks and like selling and buying gold.
Wow.
And that's a really rugged, rough environment, you know? So you don't show up in a suit when you're going to the gold souk. You're, you know, and everyone's with their calculator, like...
The ounce.
Yeah.
Exactly,
Exactly. So I had to really reframe and learn quickly how to behave here and how to conduct business here, because it's not the way that we did it in Sweden
Of course.
or in a corporate environment. Yeah, so that's really what kicked off my career here in the UAE.
And then, where did the speaking happen?
Well, the speaking was also happening with the Gold House, because there would be conferences and I would still be nudged up here in the DMCC, where they're asking me to speak at these different conferences. And so I'm always on stage wherever I am. The microphone loves me.
True.
It doesn't mean I love the microphone, but the microphone loved me.
True.
So that was the nature of that relationship. And then at some point I went, you know what? There must be an agency here to work with, because I'm doing this all the time unpaid for free. Why am I doing this for free? I used to get paid in the West, so maybe find something here. And there was none.
Zero at that time.
None that wanted business speakers. No, there was no interest. So I actually picked up the phone and I called international agencies that I worked with, and I said, "Do you have presence here?" No. Do you have any interest to have presence here? Not really. So I went, okay, interesting. So that seed was planted, and I pretty quickly learned that this is what I want to do. I want to showcase the Arabs, in the region to the world. I want us to hold and own our own narrative, as opposed to, like in the West, I would be at conferences about Orientalism or Arabism, and it would be held by them.
True.
So it became really important for me to showcase that people that look like me can go up and be experts and
That was
role model.
which year?
So I set this up in 2016.
I love that. And what were at that period of time, there was no any speaking bureau around, no agencies. What were the challenges? I think when you were speaking to people, excuse me, what do you want to do? I think you get this kind of response.
Yes, that was definitely a response. What? We're going to pay for a speaker? No. Why? Well,
That's how it goes.
babe,
Exactly.
you want an expert, somebody who spent a lifetime to share their wisdom and knowledge in a way that is compelling to your audience. No, there needs to be an energy exchange. Oh, but they will get posters on social media. I often get that. Or we'll give them exposure. The great people that know what they're doing, they don't need it.
True.
They already have it. You're there. They're adding so much value to your event. Maybe you want to have that energy exchange for them to show up and do it fully and properly. So that took some time to do, but we've grown with our clients. Our first deals were pathetic, and now it's moved up. And what's nice is I haven't set up a company. I've set up an industry.
Yeah, of course.
I can look back and say that now.
In the initial period, what were as an entrepreneur, what kind of challenges did you face? Because first of all, you were not starting a standard business. It's something absolutely in our region, nobody heard about it. So what were the type of challenges that you faced, and how you dealt with them?
Yeah. So I had challenges on every front, and this is what happens when you have some form of first mover advantage, right? You need to educate the market, but also figure out what is the best price point, what is the best go-to-market strategy. So I had every problem.
Everything. I
every
believe
problem.
so, yeah.
And then on top of it all, so I didn't come from the sector. So I didn't know what to do, how to price it, what contracts to have. What does a speaker contract look like? So yeah, there were plenty. And then as an entrepreneur, I had my challenges along the way. So I set up my business in my living room. It was a lot of inshallah.
So that's the second question I wanted to ask you. You will tell me from here, but you didn't have a lot of capital to set up a business. Am I correct?
I didn't.
You didn't.
I didn't. It was pretty
Yeah.
terrible runway, pretty terrible structure. But it was one of those, my wings were clipped, so I had to learn how to
do everything.
Yeah. And it was a no choice situation. So, but luckily, if you're resourceful enough and you find solutions, then, you find your way very quickly.
I love that when we talked off the camera, you told me, like, I'll put in my words, so it's not your words. You smashed the competitors that were around you. What kind of, I would say, like, strategies that you use to smash competitors? It's you being authentic and delivering the value to your community in the MENA Speakers, or what?
So the one thing I object to is we've always done it this way. That sentence that people in corporates and organizations do it one way, and then that's the way it's meant to be said. I don't. Everything gets renegotiated, reevaluated. And it can be as small as the signature of an email, and it can be as big as a marketing strategy. Nothing is set, and the willingness to try, that's what it is. And I say that because you don't know sometimes what is the one thing that will switch. So I did an experiment on my own Instagram the other day, where I had, it tells you what you do, 1, 2, 3, 4. So I had bullet points like everyone else, and it looks all cute.
Yeah.
But I flipped my order to saying now MC at the top. It was my number 3 before. That change, that small change, has given me 4 clients in 3 weeks.
True.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So Instagram hasn't been a particularly great marketplace for me, or I just used it as my catalog.
Yeah,
that's what I said, as a way to connect with my friends, family, as a catalog. But that switch has moved it into becoming a place that generates business. I went, oh, this is interesting. So you never know what is that one change that will really...
True.
Yeah.
If I ask you through this journey, was there any challenging, or I will not say challenging, a pivotal moment in the business where MENA Speakers skyrocketed? A change that you did in the business?
No, we've been very gradual. It's been like that.
Step by step?
Yeah, we're not the overnight success story. I'm not even sure I subscribe to that concept, because when you read about
doesn't
these...
happen.
Exactly.
Doesn't
People don't
happen.
see the amount of work behind it. And so that's what it's been. It's been slowly but surely growing. Growing with our clients, growing our base, growing just everything.
You're consistent with the business model, because I know a lot of people or a lot of businesses that simply they pivot along the journey. Did you pivot, or that was exactly what you started exactly now?
I went for a full-on blue ocean strategy. I'm honoring what I'm doing. The number of times people ask me, why don't you set up an events company? And these business coaches that are like, I think this is what I think you should do. I respect that, and that's not maybe something I might do as a different venture, but this is my core business. I love what I'm doing, and it comes from a place of passion, and it doesn't come from a place of, I don't want to make money. No, or else I would have gone back and become a banker or stayed a banker.
Stay with gold. Stay with gold.
I loved gold, by the way. It was so much fun, but I love what we're doing, and I'm honoring it, and I have so much compassion and passion for what we're doing, because, we get the emails. This speaker changed my life. When I worked with you, this happened. I have now, so we get those receipts that we're on the right path.
If people watching us now and they want to hear from you, in a nutshell, what MENA Speakers is?
Ooh. In its essence?
In its essence, its mission. What do you actually do so they can relate with?
So let's do let's align everyone with what I actually do. So I have this roster of experts and speakers, and they go to conferences and events and they share their expertise.
True.
Yeah, so they're educating, engaging, and empowering people. That's the shortest of what we do, and the most concise manner. And then in our essence, I would say we're a co-created platform that empowers humans.
I love that. One question I asked you before we shoot. How do you select, being a Peru, having like the MENA Speakers, I would say the one and only in the region, how do you select speakers? I'm sure your criteria are heavy.
Yes.
So, and even when we spoke, you said you guys were done, we're having X amount of speakers and that's it. So it looks like you have, I would say, a rough criteria. So to make sure that your speakers are up to par, what are your criteria? What are you looking for for a speaker?
So the short answer, is great story, like a great background, and then somebody who can convey and communicate very well, right? So a good story and great communication skills. And number 3, a super strong brand. And that doesn't necessarily mean that you have followers that are this amount, but you have a solid following that buy into what you're saying. And we see that. So those are the 3 criteria at a very high level. And then my X factor, which is why I always talk to whoever I want to partner up with. I need somebody who's ethical, who's kind, whose values are in the right place.
How many speakers do you have? So people understand the scale. I know the numbers. So you can say it.
It's 200, and we are at capacity, and it's incredibly hard to
200
sign up.
speakers.
Yeah.
Amazing. If we're talking about public speaking, it's a very important skill. But if I ask you, as Sana, why public speaking is important?
It is where you meet your insecurities and find your voice. That's why. That's why. You know, I get the conversations of like, give me the tactics of how and what. You can get the tactics everywhere. Read a book. Go
Practice.
and so it's super easy to do that, and I can do that with my eyes closed.
Yeah.
But really, the magic happens is when we're able to help people find their voice, speak up, because that doesn't just translate from the stage. It translates when you're at work, with your
True.
partner, at home, with your family. The ability to communicate your needs and your boundaries, that's a skill.
Absolutely. You know, one thing I think we need to stress on, because I believe a lot of people don't understand the value of public speaking. They think, okay, if I want to be speaker, then I need to be trained to be a public speaker. No, even for executives, you need to train yourself to be a public speaker. That's a skill that
Yeah.
everybody needs.
Yeah.
So there is the misconception that public speaking speakers are only for coaches or people who just want to go on stage. No.
No.
Exactly.
I
So
like it.
Yeah, no.
No, you continue. I like this. I can lean back. You get it. Yeah.
So tell them about this, because it's really a skill that everybody, whatever in the organization level, they need to have this skill.
But you tell me, have you been trained in public speaking?
Yeah,
How did you find it?
I loved it.
Why?
You know, I loved it because I was, the best thing what I trained from public speaking is when I recorded myself before and after. And I
Okay.
saw myself how I really was. I don't want to say the authentic, giving more values, but more credible to the person looking and listening to me. I'll give an example. My coach was literally, I'm a type of guy that I like to move a lot.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So he used to put stickers on the on the floor. You move here and here, and that's it.
Yeah.
And every time you go to this sticker, as if you're a ship,
Yes.
you're putting the anchor down.
Yeah. Yeah.
You understand these kind of
Okay,
things.
yeah.
And when I saw the before and after several times of coaching and I saw myself, I really developed.
I love it.
And it helped me inside cooperations
Yes.
and outside cooperations.
Yeah.
That's why I was saying it's a value that everyone, first of all, should have, and will see the effect.
Yes, and the opposite of that is the people that are moving like this.
Exactly.
I call it salsa dancing.
Yeah,
It's a very
exactly.
technical term.
Absolutely, yeah.
And it's probably you trying to get rid of a bit of adrenaline,
True.
actually. But the way the audience perceives that is
Stress.
yeah. So it's not serving you to convey whatever message you want to convey, because obviously if you're talking, you want to say something
True.
and you want to be heard. So these things become distracting, or they're not serving you to really power up your message.
True.
So that's also what it does. It just creates a cleaner line of communication.
Yeah. Public speaking again. Then, okay, what are of course you've coached, I would say, tens and hundreds and thousands of people. What are the main challenges you see in people who are trying to be a public speaker? What?
Yeah. And it goes through a cycle. So first you have let's say the untrained, right? And then they come and they get the training. And they might think that they need to talk like TED speakers. And hello, let me tell you my story.
True.
Because they've seen and they think that's what good speaking looks like. And I go, oh, okay. Well, we can do that. And then let's
Hold
try
on. Hold on a little bit.
Let's try another one. So we go through almost like a journey of let's be mechanical, and then you can move into being authentic. It's like learning a sport,
Exactly.
I don't know if I played basketball.
Yeah.
And so at first you learn how to dribble the ball and
Yeah.
you do your 1-2
True,
layup like
yeah,
that. But
exactly.
then at some point when you get really comfortable, you go up behind your back,
Yeah,
you're
Step
making
by
it your
step.
own. So that's really the process of learning the skill of public speaking. Like, go through the mechanical first, and then let's move into finding your authentic voice.
True.
Because the best speakers are the one that speak from
the
their
heart,
heart and are themselves and are real and are, really in their body, just not pretending to be somebody else.
So they think, in a glance, they will be a Simon Sinek or a Tony Robbins or, and it doesn't go this way. They have their style.
Exactly. This is what makes them them.
True.
And the world doesn't need another. You are good enough as you are. You're great enough, actually.
Exactly.
The world needs you.
Exactly.
So do you.
Exactly.
So this is why I say, we don't do public speaking training. It's really about meeting yourself. That's what that whole journey is about. So it's more than just the mechanics of this is how you present.
True. I love that. Sana, a lot of people, when they're preparing for having a public speech, they
Yeah.
go through a very rough time, which is the preparation.
Yeah.
And of course, the more you prep, the more you're better.
Okay.
But but let's say a person having a speech, is there any way or any tips from your side that makes the prep easier for the people or not? Or they just think about like ta 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 ta, or they go through a bullet point structure or a mind map style? I'm getting a little bit technical.
Yeah, you are. Of course, there are structures. This isn't a new industry. This is what we've been doing since the dawn of civilization. Humans like to speak.
True.
And what we've found out is that, there are structures that make it easier for you to take on information as opposed to increasing the cognitive load.
True.
So I see a lot of this. I have a speech about topic X. Here's everything I know about topic X, and let me puke it all out. With no regard to what my audience wants and with no proper strategy and structure about what I actually want to convey. And that's taking your audience on a very uncomfortable journey. It might be fine, but you can be more tactical about how you approach it with your messaging and the key takeaways. And a lot of what I think great public speaking is about being intentional about the whole journey from way before it begins to way after it ends, and taking them on a smooth experience
true.
as opposed to one that is a bit choppy, that makes them go, oh, I don't understand that, what's happening, what's going on. We don't want that. So look at it as a customer journey. You want the smoothest customer
True.
journey.
So it means that the hook, the story, all these things has to be part of the preparation. Am I correct?
Totally, and I love that you say story. A great speaker will incorporate stories.
Because that's gonna be my question. How do you as Saana Azzam, what is a great speaker for you? How do you define a great speaker?
Oh, what I think is a
Yes,
great
yeah.
speaker versus what you think is a great speaker might be very different things. And then also
But
depends on
from
which
the
hat.
woman, no, from the woman leading the MENA Speakers.
Okay, so it's like a
Bureau,
business,
yeah.
from a business perspective,
Yes.
right? It's a person that is solving your problems as you're listening to them, or answering your questions as you're listening to them in a way that is digestible, easy, and actionable.
Okay.
Right? So if you're talking from a place of regurgitated content, something that other people have already said over and over again, and now you're going and presenting it, you're wasting my time.
True.
But if you're producing something fresh, something cool that I can take with me, and it's something that changes the way I conduct my business, the way I lead my team, the way I live my life, bravo.
True. For you, any memorable speaking event, or say like a speaker that you remember, or something like from that sticks to your head? For me, like I have a couple. That
Like
hits me.
what?
Oh my God! For example, it's out of this, like Obama for the for the presidency.
Yeah. Well, it's very easy with celebrities and high-profile
Steve Jobs,
people.
Stanford.
Yes,
Yeah,
thank you.
yeah.
Yes, that's an iconic one. I
Yeah,
refer to it quite a
yeah.
lot. And he had a perfect structure, by the way.
True.
With celebrities, you're just going to be in awe no matter what they say, pretty much. People are really excited. So they operate on a different set of rules.
True,
Yeah?
true.
So it's much easier in
Yeah.
that space. But if we talk normal mortals, oh my gosh, I'm constantly inspired. It's a really hard question to ask.
Yeah.
So I'm not gonna answer it.
No problem.
I'm not going to play favorites. Yeah.
How do you empower the speakers in your bureau? How do you empower? What kind of things you do for them? You do coaching. I
Yes.
just want to elaborate more on what MENA Speakers is all about.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
you provide them speaking engagements.
Yes.
You provide coaching.
Yes. Okay, the way we empower them, I think the best example would be we have taken a speaker from being under $1,000
I love when you
to
put
over
numbers.
$10,000, right?
Mhm.
And that's part of it was underselling your value. Part of it was that you need to work on your personal brand and then get more fresh content. So having somebody with that type of insights of, okay, let's upscale you. So we've seen that journey over and over again. that's so much
That's
fun.
so fulfilling. Even.
Oh,
Yeah.
it's life-changing
True,
for them.
true.
So that's so much fun to see. And also because they have a profound message, we believe in them. It makes it so easy to work with.
From a business standpoint, okay, it's a little bit roughy to say, but I have to say it. You are building speakers. You're building speakers, professional. Okay.
Yeah.
Can they leave you and go somewhere else and work on their own?
Yeah,
And
yeah, they
as
can.
from a business standpoint, what does it mean to you, or how do you retain them, or it's like a soccer team. You
Right.
build Cristiano
No,
Ronaldo, and the next day he's in Saudi. Oh, okay.
Helpa.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, absolutely. I mean, this is a partnership. And anybody who is doing this right, who's in the speaking business, and this I can't put enough emphasis on
Yeah,
that word.
business.
You're not there as just a speaker. You're there building this as a career. Anybody who's doing this properly and right is going to be so busy that they need agencies like us to be their business managers. And they might get, 10, 15 calls in a week or so.
True.
Are they going to take the 10, 15 calls themselves, or should they be working on their craft and art? So it just makes perfect sense for a busy speaker, right?
Correct.
To be
I
doing
love this
that.
answer, actually.
And then you also have a sales team. That's essentially what it is in this
True.
partnership. You have a sales team that's pitching you when you're sleeping,
True.
who's there singing your praises to organizations, saying, this person is fantastic.
I love
I
that.
mean, how amazing is that?
You shared with me before the show a KPI which was amazing.
What did I say?
No, you said in a week. In a week. Do you want to share this, or
well,
we
this
give
is
it?
like that was a secret. That was a secret.
Amazing KPI.
Well,
I only know it. If somebody wants to know the number, just DM me. But by the number that she said, she's really changing lives of speakers. So that's a big respect to you.
Thank you. Thank you.
I will move to the next thing, which is that's a journey that you had. It's an amazing one. And building something that is, first of all, didn't exist. As you said, you build an industry.
Yeah.
If I ask what was your favorite failure, what you'll tell me?
My favorite failure. First of all my failures are my favorite. I love them. Yeah, we say feedback is our fuel.
Yeah.
This is the only way to grow.
True.
If you're not seeing your blind spots, and failure is a perfect way to tell you where things are not, where they need enhancements and focus. And this is the beauty of entrepreneurship.
True.
You are confronted with everything that you are. What you're good at is going to go well. What you're not good at, you're going to be there facing the music of it.
True.
This is why I love entrepreneurship as a art form. But if you see it as your ordinary life becomes your path to awakening, as a way to kind of meet yourself, it can be a really spiritual experience. You're connecting with your innermost humanity,
True.
with your heart, with your essence. And in that, you're also meeting everybody else. Because if I understand my own weaknesses, how can I not understand and have compassion to somebody else's?
100%.
It's beautiful.
Sure. But give me the favorite one.
Oh, here we go.
Give me the favorite one.
But you're not going to like it because it's quite a serious
Yeah.
one. And it's not a failure, but it's a very rough moment in the beginning of my career. It's heavy. Are you sure you want to go there?
My heart is weak, but it's okay. I can take it.
Yeah. And I have never spoken about this publicly either. When I set up the business, I told you I was in my living room.
Yeah.
And so at some point the team grew. So it was first me, and then we became 4 people. So I literally just threw out all my regular furniture and then set up desks
Tables.
in my living room. And then one day my neighbor knocks on my door wanting sugar, water, whatever it was.
And so the
Yeah. So he goes, hey, I was like, hey, come in. He walks in and he looks around and he's like, what is this? Why are you working from here? This is not okay. I was like, I can't afford an office quite yet. I'm just setting up the business. And he's like, come to my office. Stop this. Throw this all out. Come to my office. You can sit and work with me here. And I go, oh my God. So
Thank
this
you.
neighbor, and we did. And he became a friend, a neighbor. And after a few months, we started doing business together. So we're moving into a full partnership. And we're closing. We're like so compatible. It's amazing. Whatever his strengths are, my strengths are, they're just super synergistic. And then a few days before, we're getting to it, he's a bit upset with me. We hadn't agreed on something. So I knock on his door and I say, hey, are you okay? He's like, yeah, grumpy. I was like, why are you upset with me? And he tells me why there was a misunderstanding. I say, I'm sorry, but I love you. And he's like, yeah, it's fine, come here. And then we hug it out, right? Amazing. And then he packs his bag and he's on his way out. I'm like, all right, have a good weekend. Yeah, you too. Where are you going? I'm going to Fujairah to go diving. Okay, bye. Ciao, ciao. He leaves. He goes to Fujairah.
Never comes back.
He never comes back. He never surfaces. So here I am in this new partnership with this tremendous loss and with a team. I wasn't equipped for this. How do I go to my team and I tell them this has happened, handling their grief, my grief, the business complications that came with it. That was rough. And it didn't come with it wasn't easy. So it took me a long time to recover from that.
But you learned a lot.
I learned so much. I learned about my own capacity to hold grief and at the same time be able to drive a business and empower other people at the same time and make sure that we are making ends meet.
True. Thank you for sharing.
Yeah?
So I'll switch it.
Yeah.
Your proudest moment. You gave me a bomba failure. I need a bomba on the other side.
My proudest moment, I don't. There's just like so much that I'm proud of all the time and every day. This is why I'm like, I don't know what's a big one to tell you. One of the greatest moments was when a top global celebrity landed in Dubai and cold called me. I was like, hey, my name is, I want to say, but I don't know. American top celebrity cold called me and said, hey, I'm in town. Can we take a meeting? And I went, like, I know this name, but is this really? So I continue. Yeah, sure, no problems. Where? You can come and meet me at Atlantis the Royal. Atlantis the Royal? Nobody's getting access to Atlantis the Royal. What's happening? Okay, I'll go. This is legit.
True.
So I jump into the car and I drive there, and all of a sudden all the security bars are just opening up for me, and I go, this is the point where everyone's trying to get access, nobody's getting in, and this is happening to me. Oh my gosh. So that meeting was huge, and this is when I knew. I was like, if we've made it all the way to the A-lister calling me, then we've done something right.
Wow.
So that was a proud moment.
That's GC or not? It's not GC.
I'm not going to answer anything.
That GC, I think. I think so. Okay. If we're moving to entrepreneurship in general, do you think you are a person who started in corporate and then took your journey for becoming an entrepreneur? Do you think anybody can be an entrepreneur? Or it requires a particular DNA?
Oh, I don't. Entrepreneurship is...
Hell. Sorry. Please say.
I was going to say a bit much nicer words. That's exactly where I was going. It's so tough.
True.
It's so tough. It's not an easy path. And I don't think I would have made it out if I didn't have a whole community of people guiding me on everything. Yeah, every time I'd be like, I don't know what to do with this, I would go to this person. And it's everything from HR, leadership, marketing, growth, sales, contracting, like everything. And obviously I didn't have that skill set. So if I didn't get that type of support, no way. I would be...
a very tough one.
Yeah.
What, during the journey of being an entrepreneur, what is it's a very, I would say, tricky question, but top 2 skills you think that any entrepreneur watching us today, they have to gain? Let's say public speaking. I said 2 because public speaking is one of them. The second one is?
Yeah. So I would say self-awareness. If you're not looking at your own flaws and weaknesses with the absolute reality of, I'm not great at this, I need help. Having that humility to say, this is where I need to grow. And the other one is resilience.
Oof.
Like, gosh,
Absolutely.
you need to be so resilient.
True.
And you have to have that massive dose of positivity in moments where you think, this isn't going to work. But I'm still going to go.
Sure. 100%. I'll keep going. A lot of people looking at entrepreneurs see that things are super green. So I'll go to the second one, which is, what is work-life balance for you? Does it exist? What's your take on it?
Work-life balance.
I'm sorry, I mean work balance.
I don't, you know,
It
I think
exists or
you know,
not?
I think you know where I'm going to go
Of
with
course.
this.
But you know, the idea of here is trying to let people see the reality, because
And I'm also maybe not the greatest person to talk to because I am a little bit of a workaholic.
then me too. Okay.
Yeah,
Somebody else
so,
think about it.
And so I have to do work-life balance differently. I do it in episodes, like in chapters. So I go
Cycles.
super hardcore, and then I go hardcore relaxing.
True.
So this is what I do. I don't. Maybe I should be better at it, but I don't
No, it's
merge them
correct,
into one in a day-to-day. But it's also a perfect formula for burnout. So I'm not sure that's a great
For
advice. But this seems to be the price of admission.
True.
I don't know a single entrepreneur when I'm talking to them privately that say, yeah, this is easy. I'm feeling zenned out
No,
and I'm
100%.
chill. No, this is hard. In order for you
100%.
to succeed, especially in the beginning, you know, they say the rocket ship takes most energy, 50% of its fuel when it's going up, as opposed to the rest of the path. Yeah, the startup space, you have to be just
No
all in on
balance.
everything.
True. My same take on it. You're on the Alpha Talks show. Two
Okay.
tigers. How do you define an alpha from your perspective? What's an alpha?
Alpha, I would say it's a leader, and that leader could be formal or informal. And it doesn't have to be, you know, it can be the housewife that's running the household. It could be the number 3 person that's actually making the decisions in the company, or it can be the CEO. It's the person that has biggest sway and influence and is paving the path for everybody else.
I love that.
Do you agree, or do you think it's
Of
something
course,
else?
Of course. Don't ask me. I'm gonna say a lot about alphas. Created the alpha movement for just a name.
But do you have to be like
Absolutely.
muscular to be an
No,
alpha?
No. Absolutely not. It's like, in a nutshell, taking the responsibility, very decisive, fiercely determined. Like, there's a lot of traits.
But you look like the epitome of what people think when they think initially alpha. Like, it's a bit of the rough guy, tattoos, muscles, knows exactly what he wants, is very assertive when he speaks.
Yes.
So he's like, thank you so much. Tell me more. I love it.
I'm listening.
Yeah.
Correct, but not about, for me, when I talk about the alpha, it's not about being the aggressive, more of being extremely determined, responsible, really. You put me off the,
I will,
the hook,
but do
or
you
put me off the hook.
have a soft spot? Like, are you gentle sometimes?
Of course.
Are you gentle in your leadership
They say
sometimes?
I'm kind. They say I'm kind.
That's the word on the street.
They say I'm kind.
Yeah.
But it is. Of course, I'm an emotional.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course, like when I sit, like rational, but then I know myself.
Can I ask you the tough question? You've asked me tough questions.
Let's change seats. Oh, okay, go ahead.
But do you cry?
Like all my life, 2 times.
Right, but isn't
times.
that interesting though?
Yeah.
Shouldn't we be able to cry as much as we laugh? It's such a basic human emotion that should be so normalized that even alpha dog is able to cry and laugh with no hesitation.
True.
And my wish is for the world to embrace all of that, and especially for men that have been so socialized to suppress that part of themselves. Oh, feeling, no.
You know, I don't take it this way.
Okay.
You're 100% correct, but everybody deals with their inner self in a way. For me, crying is I reached a breakup point. Like when I
Okay.
cried, first time I cried because my dearest grandmother passed away, and she was like my everything.
Yeah.
And that I broke, and I know that I broke.
Yeah.
And that's for me a level that I know
Yeah.
that I'm at my
Yeah.
bottom.
Yeah.
The second time, for a particular circumstances, I did break as well.
Yeah.
But once I reach this level,
Yeah.
I don't want to see myself in this level. So it's not like I'm avoiding myself to
Yeah.
have tears,
Yeah.
but I'm avoiding myself to break. So I stop before and I try to react to this feeling or emotions without me feeling that I broke.
Okay, I'm with you. It's interesting. I think that Do you want to go somewhere else?
Thank you very much for having me on the Alpha Talk show. We closed it.
You're welcome to cry here. This is a safe space.
Saves me, absolutely. But I love the question, actually. I will go to the next thing, which is we have a section called the Alpha. You disbalanced me.
Sorry.
The Alpha Quickfire Insights.
Oh la la.
So I'm going to shoot you questions.
Yeah.
And then you should answer me fast, okay? Do you cry? No.
Yeah, I do.
How many times per day?
Yeah, I do.
So the first question is, what's the most unusual habit you have in your daily routine that contributes to your success?
Ooh, so every morning I drop off my 4-year-old to school.
Mm-hmm.
And in that car drive for about 12 minutes, I talk to her and I want to understand her inner world. That is the most grounding experience that I go through.
I love that.
And the other day, I asked her, she says, Mom, look, the sun is following me. And I go, what? Why do you think the sun is following you? She's like, because the sun likes me. I went, oh, genius.
Oof.
How grounding is that? Life through a 4-year-old is beautiful.
I love that.
Mm.
What is the first thing that you do when you wake up in the morning? Don't tell me Instagram.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. I have a 4-year-old and a dog.
Okay.
Yeah. So, get them ready, take the dog out for a walk, and then take my daughter to school.
What motivates you to get out of bed?
My daughter.
Ooh. What is the most surprising thing that you've learned about yourself through your journey?
That I'm perfectly imperfect.
How do you define success?
Maya Angelou said that if you thrive with compassion, passion, humor, and style,
Mm-hmm.
that's a nice way to live.
True.
Yeah.
True. What is the most unexpected lesson that you've learned from your journey as an entrepreneur?
Unexpected
Lesson.
That everything's a lesson, if you allow it to be.
Sure. A very nice answer. If you could give one advice to aspiring speakers, what it would be?
Speakers.
Yeah.
Okay. Look at your business. Divide your role into two, the CEO and the speaker. You happen to be the speaker, but you also happen to be the CEO. And those have different KPIs and different deliverables.
Mm-hmm. I had this question to ask you, but I didn't. I swear. Because you carry both. You wear two hats as well. What's your daily motto? Do you have a specific motto or mantra do you live by every day?
A quote that keeps coming back to me is, wherever you go, go with all your heart.
True. What's the single best piece of advice you've received? Cry every day. Just use it.
Oh my God, there's so much that comes up when you say that. One of them was, throw that orange jacket that you wore the other day. It doesn't look good. No, your vibe will attract your tribe.
True.
Stay true to yourself and everything will be attracted to you.
Mm-hmm. If you could teach children one lesson only, what lesson would it be?
Speak up. Learn to speak up.
True. What is something that somebody has told you that has hurt you, that you've never forgotten?
Seriously? Is this... Okay.
The Alpha Talks.
All right. In my 20s, I had the luck to get executive coaching just as I was coming out of university by this lady called Janie Walker. And it was really sophisticated type of examination. It took us hours and then hours to debrief what she found. And she said something so tough that it hurt me then, but I'm so grateful now. She looked at me and she said, you're a red. I was like, yeah, what does that mean? She's like, you're very task-oriented. You have a hard time with empathy. I was like, you're calling me unempathetic?
Mm-hmm.
She's like, yeah. And I went, no. My first reaction was, no, come on, I am empathetic. Like, what is this? Who's that? But it took me a lot of years to embody empathy. It moved, so first to take the feedback, then to understand what empathy is. And then I moved into tactical empathy, what's understood, and like, this is how you do it. And then finally to have true empathy for people. And now it's gone so far that I'll be crying when somebody wins American Idol or something. I'll be like, oh my God, look at them, they've got so far, this is amazing.
If I ask you to describe yourself in 3 words,
Next.
Don't tell, let me describe. So tell me what, no, if you see yourself, what 3 words you'll say? Resilient.
I am love. Enough.
I'm full stop. I am love. Okay.
Yeah, because the thing is that I've integrated every aspect of myself to the largest degree possible, which means I understand that I am an imperfect human being, deeply flawed in many ways. But I have accepted that I have all these beautiful characteristics, compassionate, nice, empathy, all of that. But I also have these very difficult, challenging, like anger, frustration, sadness, grief, irritation. And all of those coming together, I've learned to love and accept those aspects of myself without judging it. You should be. No. I am perfect the way I am. You are perfect the way you are. And in accepting myself, I'm able to accept people around me, everyone around me.
Absolutely true. Sana, if somebody wants to get in touch with you, what is the easiest way?
Slide into my DMs.
DM, so Instagram.
Instagram is a great way. You'll
is
get quick responses
Super.
there. LinkedIn, go to our website,
We'll leave all the contacts.
speakers.com.
I'll leave all the contacts and all your profiles in the description
Yeah.
of the episode, and I believe a lot of people will get in touch. I want to speak. But you first cry, and then I make you speak. Sana, what will be your last message you want to leave the audience with today?
When you look back at your life when you're 90, what do you want to look back and say? My hope is that we all are able to offer hope and healing to the world.
Nice one. We have a ritual in the Alpha Talks called the Alpha Talks Memoir. It's kind of a journal where the Alpha guests do a couple of things. The first one, they write their experience in the show. The second one is they answer a question from the previous Alpha guest, and it's a way of connecting Alpha guests together. But you don't know you won't know who's the guest or the next guest.
Unless I watch all of them and then I figure it out.
Exactly.
Yeah, okay.
And that's an exception, like the number. Yeah, okay. So are you ready for the question?
Absolutely. That's a cute book.
Ooh. What is in your pocket right now? And no, what's in your pocket right now? Don't tell me nothing.
I have my handbag and I have a lipstick, car keys,
Okay, we stop here.
and my phone.
Sana, thank you very much. I really enjoyed this episode. I hope you enjoyed it as well.
Very much.
I am positive that our audience and our viewers will really get the nuggets from what you shared with them. And I'm sure we'll do more episodes together, but I think it will be reversed. You were the first one who asked me questions during the show. Thank you very much. We appreciate
you
it
for
very
having
much.
me.
Thank you.
That wraps another inspiring episode of today's show. I hope that this episode has ignited your inner alpha and left you feeling inspired, motivated, and ready to conquer any challenge that comes your way. Remember, alphas aren't born, they're made. It isn't about dominating others, it's about embracing your authenticity, leading with integrity, and making a positive impact on the world. If you enjoyed today's episode, be sure to subscribe to the Alpha Talks on your favorite podcast platform. Leave us a review and share the podcast with your fellow alphas. Also connect with us on social media at Saif Al Hakim. Share your thoughts, insight, and stories of personal and business growth with us. Let's create a movement of alphas supporting one another. The world needs more alphas like you exactly. Until next time, stay bold, stay driven, and stay alpha.